guys, Tambo here with your weekly core report. It's a big week for Run Pure members across both NBA and NFL. Let's get into the winners. In the NBA streets, Bowl 800 turned $12 into 4K. C. Corms turned $76 into 4K as well. Leroy hit for $4,600, while Y Guy 223 shipped for $12,000. Our guy AP joined in the fun, hitting for $8,000. Turning to NFL, it was another great week for us, especially when it came to Showdown. I parlayed my appearance on our premium Thursday night Print Factory show into 61K, featuring a lineup with Dallas Goedert in the captain spot. RPS coordinators were all over the Goedert captain play, appearing not only in my premium attack plan, but Mangone pushed it as well, helping Nadesify ship for over 67K, while Pete Vegas hit for $7,200 over on FanDuel. But the biggest hit came on Monday Night Showdown, where RPS content was all over Kenyon Drake in the captain spot. Captain Drake was pushed on our free Showdown show by special guest Chris Randone, in addition to our Talking Touchdown show with Spread, Tyler, and Title, where Tyler called his shot, nailing the Drake call ahead of shipping $29,000 for himself.
75% of carries, like he's going to be unowned, like low owned because of his price. He's got to be even more low owned as a captain because his price jumps even more. If he scores 2 touchdowns in this one, you could be golden.
Guys, if you have not subscribed to our free YouTube channel, take a second right now and get it done. Racer 1A joined in with a 10K hit from Showdown. Kanoski 69 hit for 22K as well. Locks rode Drake Captain to a 30K score to continue his heater, while I shipped 2 more King of the Beach seats. But the biggest win was by Run Pure member Homebrew, who hit the perfect unique lineup, solo shipping for a monster $500,000. He joined our NFL First Look show to talk about his big night.
Randone just mentioned at the end of the show, the very end, it was the last lineup I made. It was the end of the show, and he said, Kenyon Drake, captain. And I was like, well, I don't have one of those. Let me make one of those.
Congrats again to all our members. If you want to be featured in the core report, drop your winning lineup in the Members Never Win channel in our premium Discord. If you're not a member, join now. You won't find a better value with all sports included for one low price. And while you're watching, hit that like button right now. Remember, if you're not winning with us, you're watching us win. Until next time, let's keep running pure.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports. We are not on the NBA Hardwood Show. What are we on? We're on the NFL Showdown Show. We're just talking NBA, me and Rubio. So that's what was on my mind. And we got everything going on. We got Packers game still playing, which, again, I'm a Packers fan. I'm sitting here not watching my team. I'm sitting here hanging out with you guys. So please hit that like. Appreciate it. I don't get to watch how this game closes out, so I'm not fortunate like that right now. I'm sitting here grinding it out, hosting this show with you guys, here with Megan, of course. I love being here with Megan, here with Kurt, and here with Rubio, the guy who does the playbook over here at Run Pure Sports for us. Let's go to you first, Rubio. It's a nice little playbook. It's the Niners and the Chargers, and I don't know, maybe we'll have Big T join us during the show. I'm not making promises, but Big T loves himself some Niners football, so I'm hoping maybe he'll show up. What do you think, Rubio?
Oh man, it's one of the most unique slates that I think we have had in some time. I mean, it's one of these slates where you have 2 absolute fucking studs at the top with McCaffrey and Ekeler. Then what do you do with the quarterbacks? And you have great receiving talent, especially on the 49ers side of the ball. And then you have cheap guys on the Chargers side of the ball, like Palmer, Carter, Everett. So it's a really weird spot here to where the no QB builds are optimal or not optimal, I should say, are in the fold for once. And I'm never a no QB guy, but I'm actually considering it here just because of the way the builds kind of navigate. So really looking forward to it, Mangone. I think there's a lot to be had here. And I think there's so many ways, so many directions that can be made here. And I think we might see a solo shipper tonight. Hopefully it's me.
Yeah. Speaking of solo shippers, on Monday, we had a solo shipper from One of our guys, name on DraftKings was Homebrew, and he was on our show on Tuesday. So if you want to check out the kind of interview we did with him, we just talked about his process and stuff. Go back and check that out. It was a great show. Hopefully we get another solo shipper from the Run Pure Sports team either today or maybe tomorrow too, right? We got the Eagles and Commander Showdown slate. So we'll have Simon and Megan, our producer, and Megan, they'll be at odds because they are big fans of those teams. Let's go over to you, Megan. How are you doing, and how are you feeling about this Showdown slate?
Well, it was nice today to not stress about my team. So I just enjoyed football and tried to research here for tonight. And yeah, I mean, I think Rubio explained this slate perfectly. It's kind of, I think it actually reminds me a lot of last week. You want to kind of jam in the two studs for sure, because they have the most usage, and kind of figure it out from there. We'll get into it, but I'm really looking forward to talking about it. I will say, is the Packers Cowboys going to overtime? Because I am having a mini sweat in 2 tiers contest. So I do have a little sweat going on. So if I'm looking at my phone, I apologize. I
think it is. Don't apologize for looking at your phone. And look, you ask and you shall receive. Big T, were you joining or did you hear?
There he is.
I heard Mangone ask for me, and when he asked for me, I come on. I don't let my crew down, and I wanted to know who Ekelar is. I
wanted to know who Ekelar is.
That's a great question,
but I didn't want to hammer him too bad.
I mean, if he's one of the studs, I need to know who he is. So I mean, Rubio, who's Ekelar?
Oh my God,
Ekelar, whatever the fuck you pronounce. He's a winner.
Is that what he said?
He said,
"You gotta be dying."
Yeah, it was funny, but I don't like to critique everyone else's because then I get critiqued. So I decided
it just makes it funny way too when they critique back. It's fun all around.
Well, a Big T.
Almost Rubio's time too. When's this World Cup fire up, Rube?
Oh baby, next Monday.
Baby, next Sunday is the first game. Qatar versus Ecuador. I can't wait. It's gonna be a blast. So
I'm out on the Sunday World Cup, but during the week, sure. Sunday.
It's Sunday morning, man. Go and make a coffee, enjoy your day, and pick some winners. It's simple.
There's no way that big contest was on a Sunday.
It's on Monday.
I was gonna say, there's no way they did that.
Yeah, the USA also has a showdown on that same day, and it's a 20K to first, 100K prize pool too, and then we have the 100K to first on Monday as well for the main slate. It's looking good, man. Hop in, the water's warm.
I'll participate on Monday. I will not participate on the Sunday. I'm sorry, I got other things to take care of.
I'm only participating if I hear a meow.
I'll be at your house. I'm coming for the World Cup. I made a special trip to what's the something Kentucky? Can't remember the name, but I'm going there to watch the World Cup. At House Knee House. Oh, I'm definitely getting
Is K Fallon going to show up for it too? I mean, you're having a World Cup.
I think he might have been one and done. He made his showing. I don't know if he'll make it back for number 2.
Yeah, I don't think he'll make it.
Hopefully.
Especially not if I'm going. He's going to be like, okay, definitely not going now.
All right, well, let's bring Kurt. We'll bring you in. What are you thinking of this slate? What's your thoughts? Are you excited for some Chargers and Niners tonight?
I have a little wide receiver who I'm going to play way too much tonight. He's probably going to break my heart, but I'm obsessed with him. He won me money in the preseason. He's done good for me in the regular season.
You and Rubio are like the
Who is this
dustiest
crappy
guys.
player? Who is he?
It's Michael Bandy.
Andy season, baby. Let's go. Big T had him in his pool last week. I don't want to hear it. That was a main slate.
Yeah, but last week may have been different, I feel like.
No, I had Herbert.
Come on now. He played him.
Herbert was my favorite play.
He was playing against the Falcons, right? A little bit different situation. You were starved for value on that slate.
No, I was playing Herbert, and he was the number 2 receiver.
Well, of course, and it was against the Falcons.
I had to play. If I love Herbert, I got to play all the receiving options.
Of course, but again, it was because he was playing the Atlanta secondary. It wasn't. This is the Niners, so it's a little different. We'll obviously break it all down for you guys. We have Big T here, so because we have Big T here, I better see more likes. I haven't looked at the number, but I want you to pump them in there. Got to see all the likes. Rubio, before we dive in and talk about the captains, whose core are we giving away if we get a certain number of likes? Let me see how many are watching. Let me actually get the look. So 624, we got 136 likes. Rubio, I want a big number because more people are going to file in. People are watching that Cowboy game. I'm expecting we're going to get a lot more up there. What number should we do for the likes?
You want a big number? Let's do 624 minus 100. Let's do 524 likes. All right. And I don't want to say it.
How come you guys never want to give away anything on this show? Like, why can't we should give something away in honor of Mangone shipper last night.
Oh, I like that. I like that, man. Go. What are we giving away?
I don't know.
Cores or something. They need like 900 likes with 600 watching. You make it setting too high of standards.
We hit it last week.
You're like going to the bar trying to get the hottest chick in the whole friggin' building instead of just normal standards.
I strive for excellence, Tony. That's what I strive for.
You gotta have a realistic number, though.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so let's.
I mean, we only got 650 watching right now.
All right. Well, how about this?
We're gonna ship tonight. We gotta get it going. And Meg's about to ship the tiers. We got it all. What do we need, Meg? I like to root. Who do I need to root on?
Well, unfortunately, I needed more of that game ended. Dak Prescott to.
It isn't over, is it? What do you mean?
Yeah, so I need Dak. Yeah, I think I need I think Dak Prescott's the only thing different from me in the first place. So
Dak and who else you got though?
Well, I got Dak and CD going right now, but the people ahead of me have Lamb. CD? But
Dak though, Dak can get you home.
I think if Dak can get me home,
I got Dak and CD on the afternoon slate, so I'm gonna root with you.
Okay, let's go for some Dak. We'll see what it jumps us up to.
Okay, so let's do this. I think this is very generous what we're about to do, Big T. So we're at, how many likes are we at? We're at 256. So I was going to say, for every 100 likes, we give out a core. Does that sound like something?
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
So we're going to give two. We're going to give two out to just kick it off, right? We're going to give two. So we'll start with, and we're not giving out the cash core. No one cares about that. We're not here to play cash games on this show.
That could be the first one though. Like that'll be the starting point. The cash.
Right, that's a good point. We'll start it off. Start off with the cash core because Big T says, well, we'll do Christian McCaffrey captain, Austin Eckler.
Oh, you're giving. I thought they had to get to like 300 first. You got to let them get to that first.
No, we're
just right out of the gate.
Yeah, right out the gate.
Like that.
That's why the cash one makes sense. So the first 100, we do Christian McCaffrey captain, Austin Eckler, and then we do Robbie Gould. So that's the cash one that we got. Megan, let's go to you next. Since they hit 200 likes, give out your core for the people. What is it, and then how about you lead us into your thought process on that team and what you're doing with the captains up top?
Yes, my core for DraftKings is, of course, the two studs, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, and Eli Mitchell coming back. He's min price. So just if you can get a few carries, a little bit of action, that lets me jam in and possibly jam in Herbert too. So I kind of alluded to it earlier. I'm kind of looking at, as I did last week, I said, I'm going to play Kelsey, Henry and Mahomes and rotate them and play all three. That's what you needed. Ended up needing Mahomes and the captain, all three of them, and find the right three cheapies or right three other guys. I unfortunately did not find the right three other guys. I'm kind of going to do the same thing today. Those three are going to rotate through my captains. Those three are my guys. And then I'm going to find other guys that make that work. And hopefully I can this time make it work. So that's kind of what my thought process.
All right. Well, you're going to rotate and print the winners. We already got the 300. So it's looking good here. We got to give away another core. So Rubio, let's go to you. Give out your core. You're the man who does the playbook over here at Run Pure Sports. So the people hit 300. So once we get the 400, we'll give another one out. Rubio, give out your core and talk about kind of what you're doing at the top here with your captain spot.
I hate to be a wet towel on the party here, a wet blanket as they call it, but my core is the exact same as Meg's here. I think it's these two running backs are a clear priority. And Eli Mitchell, he's 200. I mean, this is a free play, a free square. When you have studs up top, you want value. You get Eli Mitchell at 200. I think he's going to get 5 to 7, maybe a little bit more carries, maybe get involved with like a pass or two. I know he's not a pass catching back, but I'm not asking for much. And hell, like if he gets 3 or 4, I'm very happy. And he allows me to fit in all these studs. And I will say this, I know I have the same core and stuff. There's 2 routes that you can possibly go that also includes Justin Herbert. And I'm sure Kurt might allude to that later.
Right, before we get to Kurt to allude to that, I want to go to Big T. Big T, before we go to captains and everything, what is your thoughts on this Elijah Mitchell at $200? Because I mean, it's probably going to be pretty chalky, it sounds like, from what people are saying. And then what are you doing with the captain up top? Or your number's not ready for it? Maybe just talk about Mitchell first.
Yeah, I think that's not sure on the guy. I mean, actually, I am sure on the captain, but I don't want to spoil it because we got to get more likes first. But I'm not as confident on Mitchell because, for one, McCaffrey's going to get all the work. For two, yeah, he can get us like 6, but again, it's the same thing I always say about these cheapies. Like, are we happy with 6? Like, I'm not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not fading him because I love San Francisco in this game. I think they roll. But I'm also not super confident that he's going to be like in the optimal unless he gets double digits like usual. And I'm not confident he can get double digits, but it is a good spot. What I was going to say though, so we go up to this flow chart off Tambo's tidbits that he always posts from who posts this?
It's Ryan.
Ryan McDowell.
I love that.
One of the most interesting. I always look at this, especially for Showdown. Showdown's more than main slate. Nothing really sticks out except one thing just right off the chart. Number one in football is the San Fran running spot. Like just Chargers can't stop running backs. Mm-hmm. The worst possible spot by far. There's a tier in between the worst and the second worst is the Chargers running game, which leads me to maybe the fate of the night, Mr. Eckler. What did you call him? Eckler or whatever. Eckler. Literally on the chart, there's a number 2, like two weeks where they've allowed a number 1, and then there's nobody in 3, and then 4, there's a couple, and then by far the worst spot for running backs is against the Niners.
That's
and
fair
if
enough.
we think the Niners roll, which I do think the Niners roll, I think Eckler might be the fade tonight, boys. And
wide
girls.
receiver 1. He's not a running back. He's a wide receiver.
Well, so that's what I was going to say, Tony.
I'm not used to doing the show with sharp women. I can't say boys and stuff anymore. That's not right.
I like you. I've been and girl and lady, whatever,
Yeah.
It all works.
Yeah, so here's
they mispronounced it too. That was bad mojo to start the show. Like it could have been a sign that we just got to fade. I'd rather just play Herbert. Like, I don't know.
No, so yeah, I don't disagree if like you're going like the onslaught, right? If you're doing like a 5-1, like yeah, you can make the case it's going to be Herbert. But obviously, as you go more Chargers, it gets a little bit tougher for sure. And if you obviously go Christian McCaffrey in the captain slot or one of these other options, like, well, then you start running out of salary. If I decide to go a cheap captain, then it's like, well, then I might need Eckler's raw point. So I think if you did do the Eckler fade, Big T, I think it makes sense with an expensive captain. Does that kind of make sense to you?
I mean, I always play an expensive captain, almost always anyway. So,
well, I'm just saying, like, not even like the mid tier. I'm not talking about like the kickers. I'm talking like sometimes you can go mid tier and then get.
I mean,
like,
tonight I'm playing a guy. Let's just say above 7K. Let's just say above that.
Okay, cool. One thing too, I thought that you mentioned that was interesting. Like, you talked about like not liking Mitchell as much, and I'm kind of in agreement. Now, it's not that I don't like him, but I typically like to stay away from the cheapies, and I've noticed I've had my most success when I've been doing that. And sometimes when you just avoid a range completely, that's where I feel like I sometimes make my best teams. I just think for me personally, I do better. Like for instance, my team that did well in NBA last night, it avoided. Literally, it went Luka, it went Tatum, then like all the values below 5.7. Like I avoided I only had one Raptor, and Raptors were very popular yesterday. Like Scotty Barnes, those guys. Not that those guys were bad plays. I had Scotty Barnes on my other team. I had Thad Young, who was cheap, but it just basically avoided the mid-range build. So that's why I kind of like to sometimes find builds that just avoid something. And I typically like to avoid the cheapies. Now I'm going to run some stuff now and see what happens and kind of see if that's what I end up going with, but haven't ran any numbers yet. Let's go over to Kurt though. Sounds like you have a contrarian take from what Rubio said than what some of the other people were saying. Sounds like you like Herbert a little bit here. What's your thoughts on how you're approaching the captain spot tonight here, Kurt?
So, I mean, just what Tony was saying, like that, when you look at that flow chart, it sticks out like a sore thumb how good the San Fran run defense is. And I'm not saying like Eckler's obviously he gets almost all of his points from receptions and stuff like that. But like at this price, he's got to get some rushing yard upside, which is not, I just don't think is going to be there tonight. So I just love these pass catchers. I mean, like they're all at, Keenan Allen's still out. Like all the volume is going to like Everett, Palmer, Bandy, Carter, Texas Tech legend. Like, I don't see how you don't have, and we expect that San Fran to kind of take care of business here. I don't see how you don't have two of these Chargers pass catchers getting all the volume in your lineup. I mean, two of them are going to get there just off volume alone. Like they don't even need a touchdown. They can get 6 catches for like 50 yards and that can be enough to get there. And as far as Mitchell goes, like, Debo's back too. So you got to think he'll get some handoffs too, but I think Mitchell, especially with the game script, like, we know what McCaffrey, like his body can't handle too much. They don't want to push him. They have Mitchell healthy. And not to mention that, like, I hope Shanahan's seen what he's done to running backs. Like his system, for whatever reason, it might be a curse, but they get hurt. So I don't see why he would just be like 80% snaps for McCaffrey. I think it'd be more like 70, 65-ish. So, in the right script, like 200 for Mitchell, I think 8 could get the job done. Especially if they're like leading, they're running the clock out. I don't know if it'll be Davis Price. They probably want Mitchell to get his feet back. I haven't built yet, so I don't know if I'm going to be there. But I'm not opposed to it if I fall on it. I just want to make a point to have two of the Chargers pass catchers. As far as captain goes, Debo, C-Mac. I mean, I want to have a 49er mostly, but I'm not opposed to going Chargers and then them just getting all the volume from the passing game.
All right, let's get away from talking about the captains. We'll go back to Big T on that in a little bit. Just want to make sure the numbers are updated. We get those likes up too. He said he wanted to wait a little bit longer, so we're gonna wait a little bit longer. Like I said, every 100 likes, we're gonna be giving out a core from someone. So be sure to hit the like, subscribe to the channel to check out all the content. Big T, before we kind of go over and talk about the
who's
flex
got
stuff,
the snap numbers for me? I know one of you, Kurt or Rubes, has got the snap numbers for me.
I mean, I can get him if you need him.
How many did Spiller play last week?
I was going to say his snaps have been coming up.
Yeah, it's an interesting play if you think San Fran rolls where.
What are you talking about?
And a good pivot off of Eckler too, where it's interesting for me because he could get a lot of the time if the game gets ugly, which believe me, I was all over Herbert last week. I thought they looked terrible. They look bad all year. They can't block. San Fran looks really ripe to blow this team out tonight. And if it does blow out, that's another Eckler's like people. I've heard this all day, like from the stuff I've read and heard. Everyone's like, if they're down, Eckler's going to get all these dump offs and stuff. What if they're down 3-4 touchdowns? He's not going to be on that field. He's going to be on the bench. So who mops up then in that situation? I don't. Spiller looks interesting.
That's thin. He's 3K, Big T. He's 3K.
Exactly, and he's going to be 1% owned. Exactly.
Give me the Bandy at 2.4 all day over Spiller.
Bandy, baby.
13 snaps last week for Isaiah Spiller.
You guys think too like cash-based with these things. Like
know,
you got to think bigger picture.
What? Are you high?
Yeah.
In a blowout, Bandy's getting all the work.
Bandy can score 15 in a blowout with getting 6 catches for like 80 yards.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bandy can
he
score.
couldn't get 80 yards on the field by himself with like Rubes on
He did in
guarding
the
him.
preseason with the same cast.
I'm
The
locked
same
down.
cast.
You guys are in your freaking preseason. Like no one gives a shit about
He did it
preseason.
last week. He
Like,
had
are you
like 5
kidding me?
targets.
Man, go.
He had
It's
5
week 10
targets
and they're
in a
talking about
competitive
That's
preseason.
his 4.
Big T is explaining that was a competitive game, and he's saying if you think the script is not going to, like he said, he thinks Spiller would be a better play. Obviously, you have to build for the
yeah. Well, that would just mean that. So he'd be getting the Eckler dump offs.
He's basically saying,
Or just handoffs, like they're getting crushed and they just hand it off to him.
If it's that much of a blowout, I think it would be.
I think it's going to be a huge blowout. I think.
If it's a huge blowout, I would lean your side too with Spiller. Big blowout.
I don't see how it's not a huge blowout. Like the 49ers are going to pound this team tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't love playing that many of these Chargers. I'm not like dying to get
They
there.
did look so bad last week.
They've looked so bad all year.
I know, but versus the Falcons, like, I mean, you think?
Who blew them out? Some bad team blew them out. Who was it?
Brown? No.
Some terrible team blew them out. I can't remember, and I don't have the schedule up in front of me. I'll look.
Well, I was going to ask something about fading, and I think you mentioned this in the playbook, Rubio, about totally fading quarterbacks in general. I feel like maybe Herbert could get there in just garbage time, but I don't know if this is in Tambo's tidbits, but Rich Rebar, I think, is super sharp, posts a lot of good stat analysis early in the week. And he said a lot's gone into this, but since week 5, Justin Herbert is only averaging 5 yards per pass attempt. That's only ahead of Mac Jones. Like that offense is just dink and dunk. That's all it is. And that would be the only case I'd make for Eckler is early in the game. He is still getting those targets, but like it is just dink and dunk. That offense is so sad to watch, knowing what Herbert could be. So, do you guys see a case for like a no quarterback fade or no quarterback build, which would obviously be super unique?
I think that would make me like the Spiller call even more if I'm fading Herbert. I mean, if we're fading Herbert, it's going to be a big blowout, and that I'm on board with the Spiller call now. In that,
I think I like it more on FanDuel than DraftKings. Just still jam the 2 studs.
What's he on FanDuel?
Can I just say that someone in the chat said that Kurt got super passionate over Bandy? Like,
Dude,
you
he did get excited.
No, it's bad. Look,
about that week 2 preseason
I
hero
love this guy.
performance.
That week 2 preseason performance, that
hero that day.
it pushed him into the cash line, right? He was like, it was like a late night game, and like he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to cash." And pushed him home.
No, it was actually a double shipper, but no big deal. No big deal.
Hey, K Fallick just said lock Bandy season. So I'm with K
Oh,
Fallick.
God.
You pissed me off, Big T. I'm playing Herbert.
I am very biased about Bandy.
Season, baby.
I'll make it
Fandy.
clear.
Jesus Christ.
So just to put it in perspective, I didn't even look, but I ran stuff on SaberSim. How much bandy am I getting? I ran 150 teams. I'm getting
27%.
34%. That's not as bad as I thought. 34 is not terrible, but we'll have to see what scripty fits in for me. Obviously the captains too. Actually, one of them interesting captains I see up top when I run it. I got McCaffrey as the number 1 captain. Got Eckler as the number 2. Number 3 is surprising. It's Gerald Everett, which is kind of interesting. We know tight ends can smash in showdown. We're kind of not, we'll move on from the captain talk. Let's move in and talk about some of these flex options up top and how we're kind of handling them. Megan, get this show back on the road, right? It's been a little off the rails. You can do this for us. How are you handling the guys up top in your flex spot here?
Well, obviously you mean outside the top 3, the top captains, obviously outside of the studs. I do have some interest in Everett. Again, just as one of the few weapons that Herbert has, and Palmer. So it feels weird because to Big T's point, I think that the 49ers are going to win and win easily. However, I do seem to like some of these other kind of like mid-tier receivers because they're Herbert's only options. And again, in that script, I feel like they could get there in that script. I mean, we've seen that before. A losing team, still gets there in the script. So with that said, I do like
beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think I just saw that.
They kicked the field goal.
Did you ship?
No, I got up to 10th place. So
that's right there though. Get you a little sniff.
Yeah, I got a sniff, and then up to got jumped up in the other one too. So had a nice Tears day.
Good shit, Meg.
Hey,
Thank you. But anyway, So anyways, so back to my point. Even though I like the 49ers, I seem to like those mid-tier receivers like Palmer and Everett. I'm still trying to make a decision because there's so many of those 49er weapons. And if I like McCaffrey so much, I'm still trying to decide where I stand on like the Ayuk, Kittle, that kind of stuff. So still deciding there.
I don't hate Ayuk. I know I played him that one and he did pretty well. I just think
you called
Ayuk is way more talented than people realize. And like let me see when I ran stuff. Let's see how much Ayuk I got. I got Ayuk captain was the 4th guy, which like it wasn't a huge percent, but he's there. And he always fits like those nice like balance builds for me. So like as like a flex filler too. And like these are slates I love. Like the Jimmy Garoppolo slates I like. So I can fade Jimmy G and like naturally just play like a lot of these position players. And it always works out pretty well for me. I can play George Kittle as well. I'm definitely looking at some Kittle. And it's always live now for Christian McCaffrey to be the guy to throw it, I guess, at this point. Because Christian McCaffrey, who knows? Like that dude's just literally the entire team. It seems like he's just changed that entire offense. So, Kurt, I'll go over to you. Obviously, outside those big 3 up top, like Kittle, some of these other options, like Everett. How are you handling Joshua Palmer? How are you handling all these guys?
Yeah, so obviously I'm going to play like 2 of these pass catchers. Everett, I'm going to play Bandy's obviously my favorite bias, but I think the smartest probably be Everett. Like Herbert's liked him. I've always, every time I think of Herbert and Everett, I go back to that play where like Everett's so tired. He's like, I got to come out. And he's like, no. And then Herbert forces the ball to him. He can't even get to it at the pick. And I'm like, I think Herbert really likes the guy besides that. But I mean, they're going to be down, talk about getting dump offs and stuff. I think Everett will come in. Now, if Parham and like these other guys were active, it would kind of scare me off a little bit because Parham had a big role when he was in. But like Parham's out. It's only McKitty, who Florida State legend. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Everett's super safe. Like he's going to fall into like 10 points in my opinion with a touchdown upside. I want to know, like, are you guys going to have any Garoppolo? Because I do not want him. I'm not. Also, I don't want to do it at all.
I can't do it.
I think if you're doing onslaughts, I don't think it's the worst idea. I mean, if you are really like, I mean, everyone feels the same way about Jimmy G. I mean, like I said, I do like to fade him, but like, if you are playing 5-man Niners, like, I don't think you should just completely like X him out from the pool, right? I mean, that's one mistake I think sometimes Big T's talked about, like just Xing guys from the pool, or like creating a rule to mess up your teams. Like, I do not think you should just like get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo straight up. Big T, let's go to you. Because you like playing these Niners. You played these showdowns a ton. What are you doing with Jimmy Garoppolo and some of these other guys up top? Like, how are you handling something? Like George Kittle's another guy that you absolutely love to play.
The reason I like Niners on Showdown is they're the most predictable team in football, and it's just super simple. When they pound people, Jimmy G will be in the winner, and no one will have him, like always. And the roster construction is just so simple. Like, if he gets like 15, he's going to be on the winner, and he'll probably get 15. So everyone that fades him isn't going to have him on the winner. It just depends on the script, like always in Showdown. If you think it's a close game, he won't be on the winner. I can almost guarantee you. But if you think it's a blowout like I do, he's almost a lock to be on the winner. So that's why people struggle at Showdown, I think. I just don't think they process what the script looks like enough. And with my script, just my numbers and what I'm putting in, I mean, it's got me right now. We got a bunch of likes. I'm in a giving mood. I got like 60% Jimmy G. So, I don't have him projected high either. I think I literally have him for 15 or something.
How much do you have in 15? How much do you have in captain? I'm curious about that one. Do you have?
I mean, I'm not playing him in the captain.
Okay,
sure.
I'm just checking. You never
just
know.
Utility, yeah,
just
utility with him.
Because when you say that, someone is going to think, oh, he loves Jimmy G. And
definitely not playing him. He's not a captain type for me. That would be another script that would have to be a shootout. Like, you would have to think the Chargers are going to score to get him in the captain. Not for me.
Big T, what about Kittle though? Because I think we haven't talked enough about him, and I like playing Kittle. I typically like him in games where they are trailing. I agree with you, but I do think with Christian McCaffrey there, that is going to actually open things up more for Kittle overall. So I think that actually
the problem isn't being open though. It's that they use him to block, and he's a beast blocker, and he's going to block more for McCaffrey. So,
but if
Kittle's my boy. I got the little bobblehead somewhere back there. I don't know
you
where,
have the little, you little kid jersey I got you forever ago, little baby jersey.
I gave that away to somebody because you got me the wrong size. The Iowa one.
The Iowa baby jersey. That was
you gave me. This dude gets me all excited. He's like, I got you an Iowa Kittle jersey. I was actually excited too. I'm like, this is awesome. Told Amber, I'm like, man, this guy took care of me. It's literally like a kid small. Like my kid couldn't even fit in it.
That's like Rubio just said, hey, I got this sweet phone for you, right? The new iPhone. And he gives you a flip phone. Like just
back to the Nokia where you're playing the spy. What's that game? The snake game on it back in the day.
Oh,
you guys
yes. No, I played that. Yeah,
Snake was fun.
But wait, can I make a point? Is anyone else super excited to just see all these 49ers weapons healthy? Like, I'm super pumped.
Oh yeah, they're gonna. I mean, listen, the NFC is not good. I mean, yes, the Vikings definitely showed up today. But like overall, like this NFC is like not good. I'm not trying to say the Vikings aren't. Like the Eagles, they've been great, but like they haven't really been that tested in my opinion. Just overall, this NFC compared to other NFCs in the past have not been as good. So this Niners team definitely, it's up for grabs for them to go up there.
The Niners are just that team that no one wants to see either because they play different. And don't get me wrong, you can get to them too. Like if you get a lead on them, they really struggle playing from behind. But no one wants this team. All those other teams are very similar. They've been in the big games too, Super Bowls. Now they got them. No one wanted to. They made fun of the McCaffrey deal, but secretly, no one could have wanted them to get McCaffrey.
Yeah. And Jamie in the chat saying, put some respect on my Vikings name. What I'm just saying is you don't want, if I told you took this Vikings team and went and played past NFC teams, you wouldn't want that smoke. Okay. You want the smoke you're in right now. That's what you want. This NFC is not good. So, but let's keep this thing moving along. Let's go talk about this, cheaper range. Let's talk about some of these kickers here. Rubio, we'll go over to you. This is the range where we got Michael Bandy. So if we want to stroke Michael Bandy, now is a great time. We got Carter. He's obviously someone that we can look at as well as a cheapie. Spiller. Defenses. We haven't even mentioned the defense yet. So what's your thoughts here on this? And video games in the chat. We're not putting any respect on the G-Men's name. That team's a fake team too. So let's keep this thing moving along, Rubio.
Yeah, I mean, this mid-tier, when you're looking at the Chargers players, you just got to think one thing, volume. Like, I think the 49ers win too, and I do see some builds that Big T's talking about where if you're stacking 5 on 49ers, it does look pretty good. I do think this Chargers team should not be 7.5. I thought the spread would be a little bit larger, but at the same time, I think Herbert drops back 40 times tonight, and I think that they know they can't run the ball. And that's going to funnel them into this passing script. And that's where Eckler has been thriving at. Eckler, say it right that time. But he's had less than 50 yards rushing in each of his last 3 games. And each of those 3 games, he's absolutely crushed. He is not a running.
Who did he face in those games?
Well, let's find out, Big T. He played Atlanta.
Go to the schedule.
Yeah, he played Denver. He also played Denver. And Denver, he smoked. So how about that? Take that, Big T. Anyway,
Denver is a pretty good team.
they will pass funnel the hell out of this game. It's going to be Gerald Everett. It's going to be DeAndre Carter, and it's going to be Michael Bandy as well, along with Palmer. I love Palmer tonight for sure. Went off last week. He's wide receiver 1. And even when Mike Williams was in a couple games ago, he smashed. And I think it's going to be similar tonight where just the volume is going to get him there. And the same thing with Everett. And that's what I'm debating right now. I'm actually going to buy a Gerald Everett thing on Rainmakers here in a few minutes. But I think that just volume-wise, these guys are going to get there. And people can make fun of Michael Bandy all you want. He does not create separation. He's not a downfield threat. But hell, I'll take 6 catches for 30 yards at 2.4K and maybe a possible red zone target or two. I know he's not a great player, but he opens up the slate. He can even access where you get Herbert in your builds with both running backs as well. So it's one of those things. And one of those running backs can be a stud, can be in the captain too, the McCaffrey. So I think Bandy opens up the slate a ton, and that's why I'm targeting these Chargers pass catchers. And, I hope the 49ers jump out to an early lead, so that way we just see this pass funnel immediately happen, and we don't have to wait till halftime when the Chargers are down for it to happen. But I just think it's going to be a volume game. I do like Gold a lot. I fiddled with a build with him, here. I always take the kickers who are favored. I know it's probably, chalky, but, you can't rule him out at all. And, I know we haven't talked about Debo yet, but I want to talk about him at 8.8 because I do want to hear the opposite, argument. Does he get how badly hurt does he get with McCaffrey in that offense? I know he's been not running the ball a ton lately, and I know he only has 3 touchdowns on the year, but that's got to scare me a little bit at 8,800, but it's a cheap tag. I've been debating this all day.
You distract me from your Rainmakers, and I'm trying to sell my Justin Herbert now because I don't want it anymore, Rubio. So this is all your fault. You derailed the host with your Rainmakers.
What's the rarity?
It's like a core field pass or something. I don't know. I don't want it. But I'm trying to get rid of it. But they thought it was a great time to capitalize, but I might have to wait on that. We got 15 minutes until the showdown starts, so let's focus on more important things. Let's go back to Megan. Talk about Debo Samuel, and then talk about some of these kickers, right? This cheaper range, Michael Bandy. Let's see if you want to join in with Kurt and Rubio to talk about him. What's your thoughts here on this range?
Yeah, feels risky to me. I don't have a lot of Debo just because I feel like McCaffrey's usage, I haven't seen it yet. And I'm leaning just towards McCaffrey, and you can't get them all. And so because I like McCaffrey and other high price guys, I'm just not getting to Debo. It's not that I don't like Debo Samuel, obviously. So that's where I'm at on Debo. I'm kind of very in line with Rubio in that it's more, again, like the 49ers to win, like the Chargers just for volume. So everybody he mentioned in the middle and then down low, like Bandy, is just kind of those volume plays. And on FanDuel, I know we're not there yet, but I don't even mind taking shots on those super cheap guys like McKitty or Eli Mitchell, because then you can jam studs. So it's more a product of that. And that's kind of, again, I hate to keep going back to last week, but last week that you did need Juju. But other than that, you needed that, was it Noah Gray and then McKinnon? You needed 2 really cheap guys. And so I think because you needed those 3 studs. And I just really think tonight, for me, I think it's going to be that you need maybe those 3 studs, and how do you make that work? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. And so those are some of the guys I'm using. I've even used Jennings, Bandy, McKitty, Mitchell.
How are you guys getting different playing this way?
And kickers. Can I say that I have a soft spot for Robbie Gold, and I did do one Robbie Gold captain lineup.
I love him in Showdown for some reason.
Yeah, I love Robbie Gold, and I've always have loved Robbie Gold in Showdown. I have I don't know. I think one time when FanDuel used to have kickers, I think he helped win me a tournament. So I just have a really sentimental for the solid Robbie Gold. So anyways, I have one gold captain. So.
I would like to go back to Big T's question.
Yes.
I want to. Who would you like to fire at first? Because I'm
any
in
of these 3 that are playing the chalkiest build of all time.
Right,
how are we getting different?
Who's playing Michael Bandy's chalk?
I want to take the smoke here.
Yeah?
I want the smoke here.
How would he not be?
All right, then pay Carter. I like Carter too.
Just run the optimizer, and that's your guys' team.
And I told you when I ran Saber, he was on 34% of teams, and that's
literally the team you guys are saying. The studs plus Bandy plus the cheap running back plus the kickers. You're not it's gonna be, if you guys win, you're gonna. I know we make jokes all the time about splitting it, but it is gonna be a Titanic ship chop. I promise you, if your guys build where McCaffrey, Eckler or whatever Rubio called them. And
I'm not playing Eckler. I'm not playing Eckler.
Well, then you got a chance. You're in good shape then if you're not on Eckler.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I don't think people are going to jam in the top 3 price guys, especially with the pricing on this.
In what world?
I don't see it. You're going to go look into these contests and you're going to be like, wow, Herbert's only 45% owned. Eckler's only 45% owned. And McCaffrey's like 55. You're going to be like, how did that happen?
But the problem is they're all in the same type of build.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the way you say it all the time in NBA. God, I can just play these cheapies and just
NBA is a full slate. This is Showdown.
It's
completely different.
Big T. It's an auto print. Print. Come on now, join me.
How much do we think Bandy and Mitchell is going to be owned?
In these type of builds with the 2 studs together, I think they're going to be massively owned. Because you have to almost. I mean, the one thing you can do that we always talk about is just leave a bunch of salary with that type of build and go. I mean, leave 3-4K or something.
When you fade Eckler, you're not really needing Mitchell. I noticed that very quickly.
Yes. Exactly. See, Kurt likes money.
See, that's the thing I've been trying
to
think.
They're Rubio down when you say that.
I love cheapies though, but I'm just saying I didn't find myself needing Mitchell.
If you think the game's close, then you're gonna need the cheapies.
I'll be looking down at you during the game, Big T. That's all.
One setup I've liked to look at is like I'm trying to find like Christian McCaffrey captains where like I don't have to play Elijah Mitchell, right? Because like everyone who's playing Christian McCaffrey captain is going to Elijah Mitchell. Like they're going to cheap guys. Like so that's one thing I'm trying to look at when I kind of like look at different teams of what to go for. Big T, we got 10 minutes. Let's go over to you. Give us like your slate overview on some stuff. We got 400 likes, so we'll give out another core. I don't know if you want to make it yours. We can hold it behind the paywall though and give someone else's out. I'm fine with that. But give us your you've looked at the numbers. We've given you some time. Give us your overview of what you're looking at here.
Yeah, I mean it's all Niners. I think they're going to pound them. I think McCaffrey's obviously the best play. So it's how do I get different? My way of getting different. I've only got 7% Eckler, so I didn't full fade. I projected him for like 14 points. That's how much I got projecting him at 14. I think he'll finish somewhere in there, like 15 points. So I feel good about that projection. I mean, he's not going to score 3 times like he does. There's no air guitar this week happening. Like he's just going to get like 6 catches for 30 yards and some rushing yards. So I feel good about that's basically how I'm getting different. Onslaught, not much. I mean, 7%. You'll see it. 7% Eckler. And yeah, I mean, I like Josh Palmer's my favorite Chargers guy, high volume. Obviously, Herbert would be my stud if I could. Like in the builds with Mitchell, I would end up with Herbert. Like Herbert and one receiver would be how I'd go on those builds instead of Eckler. I mean, it's just going to come down to Eckler for me, really. If the Niners blow him out and Eckler gets 15, I'm probably going to win a lot of money. If Eckler goes off, I'm going to lose. Like it's that simple.
All right. Well, I mean, hey, I always like the big fades. I think they're interesting. We got 400 likes. If we get we got to get the 500 to give out another core, but who's the next core we're giving out here, Rubio? Who's the one we want to pick on the playbook here?
Let's see who has a different one than Meg and I. It looked pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. When I looked at the cores, I was like, oh shit, 4 of us are the same.
No one has my captain, I don't think.
Let me see if anyone has it. Does everyone let me look? Hold on.
Kurt hasn't given his away yet. We could do a double here.
Mine's on there.
No, Kurt didn't give his away. Kurt, give yours out there.
Mine, it's on the site though, right?
Yeah, it's on the site. But give it out.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So I think everyone's going to kind of be on that same theory that like Christian McCaffrey's there, so Debo's volume's gone. Debo's a scrub. Blah blah blah. So I'm flipping the script. I'm going to captain Debo in his game back, and I'm going to go, of course, my boy Michael Bandy. And like I mentioned, I'm playing 2 pass catchers for the Chargers in every lineup. Gerald Everett. So Debo captain, Michael Bandy, Gerald Everett, and the rest will probably be 49ers.
Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see.
Ask the question, Mango.
Yeah, I know. We're getting there. I'm excited. I'm just making.
Bro, it almost got me because I don't have none of my stuff. I'm like, oh, thank God, it's 8:20.
All right, well, let's. You and not me, Kurt. So you got to get on your game. All right. So my favorite question to ask: is it a 5-1 Niners? Is it a 5-1 Chargers? Is it 4-2, 2-4, 3-3? Rubio Dimes, what are you doing? Let's go to you first because this is your favorite question to hear me say every single Sunday.
Just to piss Big T off, it's a 4-2 Chargers day. It is 100%.
I like that better than the one you were talking before.
I agree.
What do you mean? That's what I've had the whole time.
Oh, you have?
I think Rubio and I are holding hands tonight.
Yes, let's go. Shipper season. It's shipper
Like
season.
that.
Come on now.
Yeah, you're not chopping with the 4-2 Chargers. I like that.
All right. Let's go over to you, Kurt. What is your build? Where are you at here today?
I'm either 3-3 or 4-2, and the two guys are the pass catchers because I'm very, very low on Eckler.
All right. Very, very low on Eckler over here for Kurt. Megan, how about you? What build are you looking at for us tonight?
Some 4-2 Chargers. And I think Rubio and I are probably have a similar build. And then I some 3-3. And I will say, to answer Big T's question earlier, the way I'm getting unique is sometimes, and I don't believe in this a lot, is I am going to fade the quarterbacks. And that's also on FanDuel too. And that's where I'm going to play these two high usage guys in McCaffrey and Eckler, get some other volume pass catchers, and then utilize the kickers, utilize the kickers. So that's how I think I'm going to be a little unique, but I also like my 4-2 build. So that's kind of what I'm rolling with tonight.
All right. Like it. Big T, how about you? What's the route you're looking at tonight?
Love that. I love that from Meg though, with the two fades of the quarterback, because if the build goes that way, that'll definitely get you unique. I mean, my build is they know my build for sure. Cut and dry. I mean, I want to start my teams with McCaffrey, Debo, and a pass catcher from the Chargers. Either Palmer, their guy Bandy, Everett, one of those guys that I think can PPR their way to my victory. And I like the D in the kicker. Obviously, just the Niners side. Dicker the kicker.
I knew someone was going to do that tonight.
Yeah. It's a must. It's going to be fun. Like when he bangs a 50, you can just like tweet it, Dicker the kicker. Everyone will send it. It's just funny.
Yeah, I was considering him on a team, so I was looking at one and I was like, oh yeah, Dicker the kicker. Seems like I want to get some exposure to it. So let's see if anyone has some questions in the chat. Let's see. Someone says 3-3 QB fade. That's obviously something you can go with if you like. Big T, here's a question as I'm looking for questions. Well, what's the show tomorrow? Who are you on with? We're doing obviously Eagles and Commanders. Who's the special guest with you and JTAs tomorrow?
I don't know. Maybe Meg.
I was just going to say, Big T, if you need somebody on, I'd love to jump on and talk to Washington.
I know we got C-Dome coming on, but we get one more too.
You have room for 4? You have room?
Yeah, we might have to do that.
I would love to.
This is why I know Big T likes you. He never invites me on the show.
I love Meg on these shows. I keep telling her she adds some spice to the shows.
Well, thank you. And
what's the word? Some class to the shows. That's what I wanted.
And we all know we need it on my shows for sure.
Not on yours, on all of ours. I mean, Rubio's wearing a freaking soccer jersey or something. Like,
it's for the World Cup, Big T. Come on, get in the spirit, get in the mood.
Well, thank you, Big T, and I would love to join you all tomorrow if that's open.
I'll send you a message.
All right, cool.
All right. So people are saying you think CMC is an auto-locking captain. Someone's asking about that. We definitely like CMC in the captain. Obviously a good play. Just got to be different with the rest of your lineup. Let's see. If you guys got questions, fire away. Someone said Debo captain, 5-1 San Francisco build. Kurt, what's your thoughts on that? 5-1 Debo build. Do you like that?
Yeah, I could get there. 5-1 San Fran onslaught. Debo has like 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's your captain. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see that. We've seen that before. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I think that's a solid one that you can definitely go with here on this slate. Let's see. I don't know. Not a lot of people firing questions in the chat. That's the problem. We got Uncle T hanging out with us, so good to have Uncle T here. As always, one of my favorites here at Run Pure Sports. We haven't talked about Rubio. This is a shame on you. You have not talked about Kyle Juszczyk or whatever his name is. You haven't mentioned him. That's your boy. And then also, how about you tell the people your fades tonight, since you got some fades on the Showdown playbook, and tell the people a little bit about the Showdown playbook too.
Yeah, so Juszczyk, that is a disappointment by me, especially when he's got 9 catches in the last 3 games. He's been pretty involved on like third down sets, and I think that they're going to pound the Chargers with the run game a lot. So I could see Juszczyk being there on play action passes. So yeah, that's on me. That's on me, Mango, and I can't lie. But as far as fades go, I mean, it was really tough to find some fades. I had Jimmy G originally there, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, oh man, well, if the 49ers do roll, all of a sudden they're up like 28-7. Jimmy G's got a strong chance of being in the optimal. I don't like him at captain, like Big T said, but he was a guy I was considering putting in the fades, but not a whole lot. I mean, I said avoid the cheapies outside Bandy, Juszczyk, and really Elijah Mitchell, but I don't want to get involved with guys who are just not really there. I don't think Bandy's thin at all. I don't think Eli Mitchell's thin at all, and I think they make the world go around. And I'm just going these studs here at the captain for the most part too. So really didn't have a ton of fades there, man. Going over everything, DK, FanDuel, price disparity, the whole bundle, 10 cores on the site as well for each site. It's a lot of fun and good content.
Yeah, a lot of good content. We'll have the Showdown playbook up tomorrow as well. We got 2 minutes to lock. Big T, what's the final words to give the people a little nugget before we kind of start wrapping it up?
Putting a lot of pressure on me here as I'm getting all these teams in.
Put the teams in. I got something to announce.
No, don't worry about it. Get your teams in. Yeah.
I'm jamming like all these different teams.
Yeah, get your teams in. Go. It's fine. Kurt, let's go over to you. What's give us a nugget for the people.
Oh God, I was doing the same thing. I just got my last one in. So, what was the question again?
I'm just saying, like, giving people a nugget, right? Like, what's something big that's going to happen tonight? What's the key to winning this slate?
I think you got to nail the right pass catcher for the Chargers. I've been saying it, like there's going to be two that are probably on the optimal in my opinion. And I think you got to nail the right two. And the 49ers piece, like Big T says, I mean, like they're pretty straight and dry. So that'll be the easy part of the build. And the two Chargers pass catchers will kind of be, if you get it right, then I think you get the shipper.
For sure. Should be a pretty good slate. Megan, let's get some of your thoughts. What's like a little tip for the people for tomorrow? How about for the Commanders? What are we looking at for the Commanders tomorrow? I know it's a quick early look, but Big T's here watching. So
I forgot it's the Commanders tomorrow too.
That's why I'm excited to get on and talk about them. I'll be like a hawk on the all the beat reporters' Twitter tomorrow. I don't think Chase Young's coming back, or if he is, it'll be very limited. So going to watch out for that. I think Dotson will be back tomorrow. So there's some stuff to look out for because just like last week where we had the Texans Eagles showdown, you got to find contrarian ways to handle that, even if you think the Eagles win. And I think we can find some Washington pieces that'll be contrarian. So looking forward to researching and talking about that.
Chase Young goes to the GNC right beside my gym, and I see him like 2 or 3 times. Yeah, like every other month I'll see him just walking. He's just a giant human being.
He's a giant human, yeah.
Jesus
How's
Christ.
he looking, Kurt? Is he looking spry?
Does he look healthy?
His legs are small, but his body's huge. I think it's just compared to his body. But like he's always with this tiny little like hot chick. I'm like, I don't know how that works because she is very small, man, and he is very large. But yeah, so that's cool. Shout out to Chase Young.
There we go. Rubio.
Why is he going to GNC? Like, isn't most of the stuff in there like banned? I'm always curious, like, why would he need to
Whoa, Kurt, calm down there. Don't snitch. Don't snitch now.
I'm just saying.
Snitches get stitches.
Yeah,
probably just getting some water.
Kurt, we're mute Kurt. Let's go to Rubio. Rubio. Let's give your thoughts here.
About what? Like the 40
like a nugget. Game? Give me something. Give me a little bit. Give me something
about
like what's going to say tonight. You're chewing Michael Bandy and
a V-neck soccer jersey.
Yeah, it's the FC Cincinnati edition, Big T. Come on now. You got to love it. We went to the
MLS. Is even worse.
Big T doesn't know his home soccer colors. You hate to see it.
Yeah, you hate the fucking see
I'd go to a soccer game with Rubio if he ever invited me.
You wouldn't go to us. No way. You would not.
He invited me. I'd go.
All right.
I did see a video. I don't know how this popped up on my timeline, but I seen Rubes at some soccer field. I have no idea how this video. I think it was on his Instagram. Maybe somehow I saw it when I was like taking a dump, looking through Instagram.
It was 4 a.m. when you followed me on Instagram.
This guy, yeah, it could have been 4. This guy was kicking a corner kick, and he hooked it like Beckham. I was impressed, Rubes. That thing was from the corner. He drained it. I was very impressed at 4 a.m, as you said.
Big T's impressed by the simplest things in the world. And he also followed me and my girl at 4 a.m. on Instagram.
I was scrolling. I was scrolling. I mean,
like my girl even said, I think your boss followed me on Instagram at like 4 a.m. Yeah. Like, she's a little sus. Like, just putting the hammer to work.
It was because of that corner kick, too. It was the funniest part. That was the first one I saw.
Has anyone else got any strange texts from Big T at like random hours like of the night? Because I've gotten the most random texts. Like I'm talking about stuff like from left field. I'm like, what are you doing at 3 a.m. thinking of this? It's hilarious.
And Big T just takes naps. He doesn't really sleep.
He doesn't sleep. No, he does not sleep.
I take a nap. I took a nap today. Felt good.
Like it's
Big T. Final thoughts, and then I'll close this out of here.
The Niners, I feel good about it. I found one build that I really liked with Herbert and Herbert and Palmer right before the lock. I didn't play it as my main team, but I think this build could win. It's not my main team. McCaffrey, captain, Debo, 49ers D, Mitchell. So more of a running heavy approach from the Niners, and then Herbert and Palmer. I really like that build.
Oh, I like that.
Yo, Big T. I'm looking. That's the lineup I did that lineup, and I have it pulled up right here. It's the lineup just sitting on my phone right now, and that's the one you just mentioned.
I mean, if I would have had more time, because I literally realized that right as Mangone was saying it, I kind of came across that one. I probably would have played it as my main team, but I didn't.
I like that.
I don't even know what I played it in, but I have it. Cool.
I'll either be getting lots of blame or lots of thanks. If Big T ships tonight, it was me because I helped him because I made sure he didn't get that team in. But if he
no, that team's in. It's just not my main team. That thing's still in the 222 and stuff. So if it does good, I'll still be happy.
You'll still be happy. Okay, perfect. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us, guys. Check out all the content that we have over here at Run Pure Sports. Hit the like out the door. Subscribe to the channel to check out all the content that we got here. We'll have NBA tomorrow. We'll have NFL. We'll have it all for you guys. Review shows. You do not want to miss out on that. But for me, Mangone, Big T, Kurt, Rubio, and Megan, we'll see you guys later.